My name is Imogen Semmler and I'm working on a project called Farmers in Flux. It's a project which tells the stories of transformative change. The farmers who I've been working with and whose stories I've been documenting are all at different stages of journeys of change. Changes in attitudes, changes in farming practices, and ultimately that leads to changes in their landscapes. Through these journeys, they're harnessing ecological processes which occur in soils and landscapes, and those processes are benefiting them, not only for big environmental benefits, but also for economic and also social benefits for farmers. As a movement, these practices are often called regenerative agriculture or ecological agriculture, but at its heart, it's about building more resilient and healthy farming landscapes. As a creative producer and an artist and an emerging scientist, I'm really passionate about the power of storytelling. And I think it's in telling these stories and getting them out to the wider public that we can change the narrative and start to really see the benefits that these kinds of processes and practices can provide to all of us.
Nature and biology has been my thing since I was a child. My father always thought I was weird. So I wanted to set up something here in Armidale, and I just locked on this block actually. This is a 40-acre block, and it's got soil, which a lot of places around here don't have anymore. And this soil has not been really looked after, but we do at least have soil here that I can work with and bring back to life, and it's quite exciting. We've got different areas, so we've got near where the houses are, we've got a very intense and more sheltered area where we're attempting to have a market garden with annual vegetables, but that is also mixed with rows of perennial trees, fruit trees, in order to create windbreak and some shade from the blazing Armidale summer sun.
I love how you're growing in here as well as propagating. Like, it's a good...
Yes, well, I mean, this is the watering system basically. When I water my seedlings, all the excess falls off. I don't have to water under there.
Yeah. Agriculture design. Yeah. Clever design.
So when we have like -8 outside, the coldest it's ever been in here is -1.5. So it works really well because of the brick wall, of course.
Yeah.
And the mass of the water.
Yeah.
Generally described as an agroforestry system that includes food, in the form of vegetables, fruit, livestock, and trying to integrate the lot together in something that's complementary, so that each aspect complements the other aspect and works positively for the land.
I just happened across holistic management. The more and more that I get into it and the more and more field days I get into it, the more I believe that it can work if you have the right setup and you nurture your soils the way you should. It's like an education process for myself, but also for my family, to try and just be more profitable and move forward so that the place is still running in a way that the kids can take over, like my kids can take over, and it'll still be there and it'll still be functioning correctly for them to use.
Like it's just such a happier
Lukey? Where's Luke
sort of
gone?
life kind of thing.
Where's Luke gone?
I don't know. That's Bryce in there.
Where's
Luke. Luke's in Mum's arms.
I can't see him. I can't see him.
Yeah, I know.
So
This is my neighbour's paddocks. We've used these back two paddocks for about the last 14 months, and we've only just recently taken the stock off it.
How long since that was last grazed, do you think?
Look, I don't think it's been grazed since probably 2016.
Okay. So that's what a long recovery will do.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice to be able to look in there and see all that green that is able to be sustained because it's got so much protection and ground cover over the top of it.
Like all the biomass is down on the ground, so that's going to increase nutrient cycling and protects the ground, like you're saying.
Well, it's doing all the things I guess I'm learning about with regen ag. The way I look at this is we're at ground zero, we're at the beginning of this exercise, and I can look at this and think this is maybe what we might be able to aspire to.
Yeah. But
I'm just not sure what our realistic stocking capacity is, or what we should have. You know, maybe we have a few less cattle. The goats are certainly easier to maintain through these periods if this is what is going to become a bit more the norm with these longer dry spells.
This is an experiment. I don't know if it'll work. We'll see if it works, see what happens. But thanks for coming. It's really exciting. As part of the project, I wanted to introduce the farmers to some scientists so they could learn a little bit more about the ecological processes that are happening on their farms. And I also wanted to introduce some scientific voices into the story. And so I organised a speed dating event for the farmers and the scientists. We had a really nice day. Everyone got to meet everyone for 10 minutes. And so farmers met farmers, scientists met scientists, and farmers met scientists. And we talked about all the different farm projects. It was a really great way to make science more accessible to farmers and to sometimes break down those walls that can often divide them. And, you know, people had a lot in common. They found out that had nothing to do with farming or science, but it was a really nice way to break the ice. And now we're all on the journey together to keep telling the stories about what's happening on the different farms.
This is the most interesting thing I've done all week.